Yo, what's good my fellow Imaginites? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with yet another video, and you guys already see the title of the video, so we already know what we're getting into. Let's be brutally honest, brutally clear here. Rimiuru sucks. Rimiuru sucks balls. And before we get into this video, I do want to preface with, I am not a Rimiuru hater, I am not a slime hater, even when I didn't watch slime before, back in the day, and these collabs first came out, or I guess the second time the collab would have come out, because Demon Lord Rimiuru would have came out then, right? Even at that point, I wasn't a slime hater. I was just somebody who did not consume that anime, so I was like, I don't understand what the hype is. I literally don't know, right? But that means that the entire time that I've played this game in my career, in my Grand Cross career, that means that I have either been unbiased or biased in Rimiuru's favor, because now I like slime, right? So there was never a I hate this character. Plus, even when I didn't like slime that much, I still could admit, like, yo, this character is absolutely cracked. This is a good character. It is what it is. But okay, we're turning that off already. But this Rimiuru got sold so unbelievably hard. They fumbled so unbelievably hard. And there's a very, 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 very clear reason as to why it happened. So this isn't just a video of me saying that Rimiuru sucks. This is a video of me saying that Rimiuru sucks, and literally this is why. Like, this is a direct result of this thing right here, right? So no surprise here. Everybody knows why Rimiuru sucks. Because Milim exists. Because Milim exists. They wanted to release an LR, right? Because people have been complaining about LRs. People say that LRs come too infrequently, and people say that LRs suck. The best LR in the game, well, now is Milim, but it took them, let's see, Liz was the second LR in the game. Now we have 11 LRs, so it took them 9 characters to get LR right again, I guess. Because King is good, but King is not absolutely cracked. Because if King was not restricted to a specific team, he'd be absolutely busted. But King is restricted to fairies and giants. So it's like, he's good, but if you're good and you're covered, think about this. If you're the top of a pile of shit, you're still a piece of shit? Wow. Isn't that a crazy concept? Isn't that crazy? Like, just because you're at the top of something or at the bottom of something, it doesn't matter. You're still a part of that thing. You can be the absolute worst at it. You can be the absolute best at it. You're still in that category. So if King is the absolute best of fairies, and fairies is okay, I like fairies. I'll admit it. Like, I want to run a fairy team. That's what I'm working on. I like fairies, but it's like, the options aren't super duper powerful. Let's be honest. You have LR King, you have LR Glocks, which also LR is expensive, super expensive as well too. So the problem isn't maybe that there are a very low number of options for fairies. The problem is that there's a very low number of options for fairies, and 2 of them require the grindiest growth experience in the game. Versus, you know, if it were like King and like a UR Festival fairy, or like a bunch of like, either way. They had an opportunity to try and fix the LR issue and try to make LRs, 1, useful, 2, relevant when they release, like not being outclassed by some past LR because they just hit the nail on the head one time and then just lost it forever, right? No, we're not looking for that. We're looking for a character honestly with LR, we're looking for characters who can come out consistently, LRs, right? We're looking for characters that people already have. We're not even going to get back into the fact that they released this Milim as an LR base. Honestly, Netmarble, you didn't think, because if you release this character as an LR base, that means that you have nowhere for growth in the future, which is either a sign that you are planning something way crazier, or a sign that you're gearing up to shut down. Think about that fact, y'all. They're releasing characters. They just released this new rarity. How long ago? How long has LR been in the game? Like a year now, right? I think a year. I don't know. But LR has been in the game for as long as it's been. And it's the final level of like level up. A year after that came out, they're already releasing characters at that level. So the characters that release at that level are going to have no way, shape, or form to evolve past that point. They're releasing characters at their ultimate level, literally now. That goes to show that they're not going to continue this for much longer, bro. Like, I know we're in Four Nights of Apocalypse and stuff, but like this is some shut down your game type shit. Why did you make a completely new rarity that's absolutely ridiculous to get to, that requires so much materials, that requires so much grinding, so much so that you can't even do it all in one sitting unless you're the absolute top of the sweatiest wells? And just release them upon initial, when it's supposed to be a system that's supposed to save old characters. And then you take the character who is the old character and you did an absolute shit job, didn't even touch everywhere in his kit, like every other single LR has gotten in the game. Wow. It's crazy how Netmarble will just break precedents. You know what? At least they're honest. At least Netmarble will break a precedent in a very, very honest way, and you know that the downward slope is coming again. At least you can see it, right? They don't try to cake it up. They don't try to lie. They know that they're shit developers. They know that sometimes they are lucky if they have a third brain cell doing extra work, and they know that it's not here. They don't know what they're doing, bro. They don't know what they're doing. That's what they do know, that they don't know what they're doing anymore. And it just goes to show. Because realistically, what they should have done was this. So Demon Lord Rimuru is around the time of Walpurgis. Rimuru becomes a Demon Lord before Walpurgis, but then him becoming a Demon Lord results in Clayman starting Walpurgis and trying to get rid of Rimuru and all this stuff, right? So Walpurgis is the theme around this. Literally, that Clayman that you fight is the end of Walpurgis, like, battle, basically, where Rimuru is fighting Milim and Shion is fighting Clayman. So, and also, one thing that happened during this arc as well is that Rimuru freshly acquired a new secretary, just like Shion. His name is Diablo. Let's pull a picture. Everybody knows who Diablo is, but let's pull a picture. Oh, that looked kind of spoiler, that claw right there. I don't know. But everybody knows who this man Diablo is. I'm going to be honest with you. I am 100% certain that nobody would have been upset if we got Diablo. Obviously, Diablo's not as hype as Milim. Or honestly, they have a very good way about introducing you to very strong characters and putting them on a back burner for some reason, and then bringing them back later. And when all these new stronger characters show up, it's you're kind of sitting there like, what is the real breakdown here? Like, who is really the strongest? Diablo feels like one of those characters that came into the series and you're sitting there like, yo, who is the strongest? Because, like, yes, he's Rimuru's servant, but at the same time, I still sit there and watch every day and I'm just like, yo, is this man gonna switch up? Because, like, I feel like he's strong enough to switch up and, like, deal with the consequences afterwards. But this is Rimuru's second secretary. So if you dropped Rimuru's first secretary, why not drop his second secretary as well as a new character, especially because we already have a Milim. The problem with a lot of these games is they try to repeat characters instead of adding new characters. But what makes this especially a problem for this moment right here, obviously there's going to be 1,000,001 Meliodases in a year. Obviously there's going to be 1,000,001 Escanor over the course of every few years, because Escanor is something you don't want to cheese out every single time. Escanor is something that you want to, it's a special occasion. And honestly, people wouldn't even be mad if Escanor came out every single time. Escanor for this game is like Gogeta for like Dragon Ball or something like that. Because when you really watch Seven Deadly Sins and you're really a Seven Deadly Sins fan, you realize Escanor is the guy. Because Escanor pretty much sat down every single demon that they had to go against in the show. Quite literally. Galland, Melascula, Meliodas, the Demon King, Zeldris, Estarossa. Like, it doesn't matter. Estarossa is seeding all those kids. So, and Cusack and Chandler, when they was fighting at Camelot, we're not getting into it, bro. You know how Escanor rolls. But you're telling me that you released a second version of a character for Rimuru? It made sense. Rimuru, it made sense because Rimuru did take that jump from his first form to Demon Lord form. Okay, acceptable. And Rimuru is the main character. Milim is not a main character. Why are we having... You remember who else got two characters? We got, or actually, Rimuru has three, but the SR one is like free. That one doesn't count really. We got SR Aaron, we have Titan Aaron, we got Attack on Titan Final Season Aaron. Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is that's the main character, the main character, not a side character. So it doesn't really make sense for you to drop a side character as a new character. Yes, Milim has her little horn and everything, but that doesn't matter. Literally, you could have basically made this same unit the next time Slime came back, because y'all like to rerun collaborations. We know this, Netmarble. So if you wanted to release a good celebration for the game, 1, 2, bring a new LR, 3, have a good make sense campaign, because this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. You would have just LR'd Rimiuru. You would have made Rimiuru a lot better. You would have dropped Xion and Diablo, because that made more sense. Because literally, the correlation is crazy. Because at Walpurgis, here is Xion and Milim's relation to each other. Nothing. Milim is under mind control, and Xion is attending as Rimiru's secretary, literally. Just like, you know how the Hokage has like 2 people, the Hokage's attendants who all walk around. Yeah, there we go. Xion is just like Rimiru's attendant for this, right? So Xion and Milim, it doesn't make sense, right? You should have dropped Xion, and Diablo didn't go to Walpurgis, but Diablo literally said, yo, tell me everything that happens at Walpurgis. And then even after Walpurgis happens and the next season starts off, Diablo literally is explaining, he's recounting everything that's happened at Walpurgis, because he has all information of Walpurgis. Oh my gosh, it was such a golden opportunity to release Diablo and Xion. And even if you didn't want to release Diablo, because he wasn't there, bruh, Veldora. People would have been just as hyped for Veldora as this Milim, if not more hype, right? So back to what I was talking about. Slime has a very good way of introducing characters and then leaving them on the back burner. You don't forget about them, but like you put them on the back burner and then you're just like, you get to see other strong characters exist, right? Because think about JJK, where Gojo was the strongest, and it didn't make a lot of sense a lot of times that people were getting away with certain things that they were doing. And if it does make sense, it's because Gojo's lazy. But it's like, if Gojo is as all-powerful as he makes himself out to be, like, Gojo will be out there stopping a lot more things and stuff like that, right? Here, we have this setup where Veldora is the first person Rimuru meets, and Veldora is, like, the strongest, but he sensed that Rimuru is a menace as well. And Rimuru's like, I can help you. So, like, we have Veldora sitting under wraps for, like, all this time, and then he finally, like, is released. He's finally free. So Veldora definitely would have been an A1 choice right here. They could have, and I wouldn't have even been mad if they made a UR festival. Actually, I would have been super mad if they made a UR festival, because they take too many UR pendants. Also, y'all ain't provide Netmarble. Y'all didn't provide enough UR, but y'all provided 100 stamina potions. Dog shit. You didn't provide enough UR pendants for these 2 characters here. There was a lot of extra grinding. Money had to be spent. Like, but that's the thing though. Netmarble has always only been about money. I've known that since I was playing, and I was really like, I was gonna say really young, but not really young. It was 5 years ago. I mean, yeah, that's weird to think. That is weird to think that I was 20 when I started playing Grand Cross. No way. 18 or 19 maybe? No, because it's only 5 years old. Or it's 5.5 years old. So maybe I was like 19 or something like that when I started playing. Super weird to think. This is like a time capsule. But it's just, I've always known that they were about the money, always. But like sometimes they get really grimy for the money. But I can't front. This is like the time right here. Because I like Slime, and I think the celebration, I love Slime. I think the celebration is great. But like, there's just a cloud looming over my head over Rimiuru, because he's not good. He's not good enough. He's good for when he came out the first time. But like, when was that? I literally don't even know. 2021? 2022? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you hear how many years ago I'm saying right now? Yeah, that's not good enough. A character of that standard is not good enough. And this man looks like this man is like a, pretty much they took Rimuru, what he was, they took 10% of that and added it back on. That is what Rimuru is. Very discount, very budget, very diet, very malnourished, a sad release who needed a lot more love and absolutely did not get that love. And it's all because Netmarble is just money hungry, and they wanted you to summon for this Milim, even though we had another Milim. Bro, in a perfect world, what they would have done is they would have released Diablo and Xion. They would have LR'd Rimuru. They would have made Rimuru much stronger. Then if they release another slime, if the game survives long enough for another slime collab, and that's not me being pessimistic. That's me being realistic, because everybody, Nog left. Come on now, Nog left. The biggest guy, the guy who got more subscribers than the actual official Grand Cross YouTube quit. Good luck, Grand Cross. Right? If they would have dropped the next time that slime comes back, if Grand Cross lasts that long, the next time slime came back, they literally could have just released a Veldora and then LR'd the old Milim at that point, because Veldora is like isn't Veldora like Milim's uncle or something like that? So I'm just like, bro, there was plenty opportunity to do the right thing, and y'all just decided to do some stupid shit. Y'all decided to release 2 LRs and make people scramble for 6 UR pendants. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 UR pendants. Unless you already had your Rimiuru level 100, it costs you 8 UR pendants per character, because you need 2 UR pendants to get them to level 100 and then 6 more to get them to LR. Stupid, asinine, ridiculous. I made a little. I'm the more I talk about this, the more I'm kind of like getting heated about it. Cause I'm like, bro, how are you selling my man this hard? But I have a little notepad with a build for Rimuru that I'm just like, yo, all it took was doing this. All it took was doing this. And y'all, this is super basic. And also, it's like low key, this that I put together is kind of overpowered. But after I read this, go back over and read Milim's kit and then tell me, like, is this really too overpowered? Looking at Milim kit, that tells me that Netmarble doesn't care about balancing characters. Whatever argument anybody tries to make, like, oh, they didn't make Rimuru too crazy because they knew that he would be like 222 crazy if we did this. Then you release a unit like Milim who's 222 crazy anyway. Yeah, no, balance is not a thing in their minds. All right, what I did was I did the same exact passive, but instead of, because what is it? So let me pull up his passive beside this one so I can give y'all a side by side here, a bar for bar, a band for band. Okay. So quite literally, his passive is still the same for the most part. At the start of the ally's turn, oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. At the start of an ally's turn, the hero's basic stats increase by 8%. One buffs are removed from each enemy, then the hero's own basic stats are increased by 8% for each buff removed. If they reach the maximum increase, their hero's pierce rate increases once by 140% for 3 turns. So all they did with his LR really is make him go from a 130% pierce rate buff whenever he gets the max stacks to 140. Absolutely useless. What is that 10% doing, bro? What is that 10% doing? That 10% is not helping me one-tap Milim. It's not helping me survive Milim's hit. It's not helping me preserve my team in any way. It's not helping me. It's not helping me at all. It's not helping me at all, Netmarble. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Netmarble? Hey, Netmarble. The player base that you think is just all a figment of your imagination, we actually play the game. We're actually pissed off about Rimuru. Yeah, he doesn't work. He doesn't work. So what did I do? Apply Raphael buff at the start of battle. Yes, I made my own buff. Why? Because Netmarble's not even consistent with their own damn buffs. They don't even know what the hell they're doing anymore. Dragon's protection, or Dragon's Rage isn't even a buff. Dragon's Rage is literally just a gray signifier that exists for another buff to actually have an effect. What? You made a buff that was not a buff, but just a stand-in for another buff, so that you keep getting a different. Anyway, I made it. Apply Raphael buff at the start of turn, at the start of battle. At the start of the ally's turn, increases the hero's basic stats by 10%. Remove 1 buff from all enemies. Then increase the hero's basic stats by 10% for each removed buff. If increased to max, increases the hero's pierce rate by 150% for 3 turns. Basic stats effect stacks up to 5 times. And then I put down gives applicable allies 20% damage reduction and 10% damage dealt to enemies. Why do I put that? Because applicable allies is going to be unknown. I forgot to put unknown, right? But applicable allies was unknown. I almost put unknown and collab, but like this man would be like an actual devious version of Jim Hopper. So I was like, let me not put collab, but like unknowns, right? So 20% damage reduction for unknowns, 10% increase the damage dealt to enemies for unknowns. That passive right there automatically gives Rimuru more stats first off, because he's moved from 8% to 10% on both of those parts where he's getting buffed. He's going from 130 to 150, which is still a small buff, still reasonable. Like 10%, I feel like was just undercutting this man. Like 20% is still reasonable, and honestly, that still feels like an undercut for considering how old he is, right? But what is the Raphael effect? So, for those of us who don't know, or those of us who don't remember, let the dead man refresh your memory. After Rimuru becomes a demon lord, he accumulates so much magic that his great sage ability, the voice in his head that talks to him and tells him all the information he needs about the world, that evolves into something called Raphael, and his insights are even greater. And it literally, like, Great Sage, to give you perspective, Great Sage had some situations where it could not think of an answer. Not Raphael. Raphael literally always has an answer. So Raphael, and also after Rimuru became a demon lord, I feel like he became a lot more calculated with how he fights, and he's a lot more defensive first. He assesses what the enemy can do, and then he's putting them down quickly. That's literally what he had to do against Milim when he was trying to break the curse, or break the mind control on Milim. He literally was fighting her, but was just dodging around and trying to be tactical to try and figure out, like, yo, what can I do to get this, to break this curse? So, I feel like Raphael can give this man 15% boost to defense related stats because he did become a lot smarter, a lot more aware, a lot more defensive whenever he unlocked Raphael, and then 10% boost to attack related stats. This way, Rimuru's not too overpowered, and he still can do damage to help, right? Like, it's like when you're in Demonic Beast Battle, for instance. I use him in Demonic Beast Battle. If you saw that video, you saw it. If you didn't, go watch it, right? But basically, in Demonic Beast Battle, I don't want a unit who's not going to do any damage at all. I need units who, maybe all of them don't have to be top heavy hitters, because I have Thor, I have Milim, I have Xion. But it'd be really nice if the last character was somebody I could trust to deal that last little tiny smidge of health, because I underestimated how much health the bird had, right? And Rimuru is not somebody like that. Rimuru is going to be doing very minimal damage all the time. Whenever the bird gets really tanky, he's not going to be doing damage for real. So it's like, why couldn't you give him a little more damage? Like, I understand the extra damage would have made him crazier in PvP, but with all the different damage reductions, and with humans being as prominent as they are, and demons, and all these other unknowns that already existed before Rimuru. Now, granted, he would have made unknowns absolutely gods of the game. He would have made Rimuru. He would have made unknowns number one. Milim borderline makes unknowns number one, but Milim can work anywhere. But like, if he was an unknown buff, he would have made unknowns number one again, guaranteed. And also, another thing is, you can't tell me that they care about keeping the meta straight, because like, I've seen plenty of times where they've dropped one character that's dominated the meta, and then the next character comes and dominates the meta, and then the next character comes and dominates the meta, and then the next character comes and dominates the meta, and then eventually you're cycled back around to the first character because maybe their type advantage, or maybe there's something specific in their kit. But like, that's just how it goes, bro. It's just all one dog chasing his own tail, doing absolutely fucking nothing. But let me not ramble on forever. Let me move on to the next skill here. Again, you see these buffs that I created myself, because Netmarble drops a new buff on every damn character releases, bro. Buffs aren't even buffs anymore. Buffs are just extra passives, I feel like, that they just didn't feel like fitting into the passive to try and hide the fact that they're making even more higher premium units or stuff like that. Like, this skill only does pierce damage. This skill literally did not get changed at all in damage modifier, any extra effect, and anything of the nature. What I put is deals calculated strike. Calculated strike will be a buff that would be a thing he gets after he acquires Raphael, of course, because that's the thing. After Rimuru actually acquires Raphael, he actually improves all of his skills drastically. All of his skills improve. Literally, there are new possibilities for new spells, so they mix into new skills and stuff like that. Like, his magic arsenal goes up 100-fold. I felt like saying 10-fold would have been an understatement. 100-fold, bro. So the fact that none of his skills changed at all is really stupid. You didn't even represent the character. You're not even trying to hold it 1-to-1 anymore, really. So, skill 1, deals calculated strike, damage equal to 200% of unit heroes peers, and then calculated strike is 2x crit chance, 2x crit damage. Now, I will say, if Rimiuru had 2x crit chance and 2x crit damage, he would actually hit obscenely hard with this one skill. But it's just one skill. It's just a single target. It's not hitting everybody, and you're not guaranteed to always get it up to 2-star. 100% of this man's pierce with 2x crit and 2x damage. That actually sounds like reasonable, just skill 1 damage to me. With the skill 2, now we're talking. With the skill 3, maybe a one-shot. Not on Milim, of course. He's type disadvantage still, but maybe a one-shot. And also, not to mention, for Milim, type disadvantage doesn't matter because of her Holy Relic that everybody gets for free. let me go over to the skill 2. So the skill 2, I kind of changed it to make it, obviously I kept the flood up there, I kept the, you know, the 110% and the infect, but I was like, yo, all it really took you is, like, bro, basically what I'm saying is, if you were going to make Rimiuru not do damage, bro, because Rimiuru does nothing. Rimiuru does infect, but like, every team isn't some team that's working off of health effects. You know, like I said, demons and humans are very prominent, but so are unknown, and there are a lot of different variations of demons and humans, so very weird if you're not running Gelda, but you don't have to be, I guess. You can run Gelda on unknowns as well, and you don't have to run Percival for humans. I think people are now just because they're cheesing out that heal, but you don't have to run Percival for humans. So it's just like Rimiuru essentially is dead on arrival after becoming an LR, and I'm just like, once characters come dead on arrival, it's just kind of like, all right, well, let's start packing it up, guys. Let's go ahead and stop. Let's take all of our investments and just like pull it out at this point. But I said for this skill, he should have given he should have also given like a, after he does the flood and he does the infect, he should also heal all allies by 50% of the damage he did, kind of like Yermangander does, right? But like, that gives him a heal on his skill 2, that gives him a actually pretty decent damage on his skill 1, and his passive gives the team extra damage reduction, and gives them extra, because you gotta think, Rimiuru leads a nation of monsters. Rimiuru is the shield of his nation. Anytime anything happens to his nation, except for that one time he wasn't there, we're not going to talk about it, but he fixed it afterwards though. And the one time Rimiuru wasn't there and everybody got slaughtered, hey bro, it is what it is. But like, usually when Rimiuru is there, or not usually, literally every time Rimiuru is there, that man is a shield for the entire nation. That's why I'm just like, yo, you can give your team extra stats because you give your entire city stats, low key. He literally gave his city stats, bro. He literally gave everybody a name and everybody got stronger. Then everybody trains too. So not only are people more well protected under Rimiuru, people are also getting stronger under Rimiuru, i.e. giving your team damage reduction and increased damage dealt. It literally translates from the show. It's so stupid that people don't know how to actually look at the source material and actually just make a solid depiction of all the functional parts of a kit in gacha games and on a character. It's baffling to me. And I know they don't watch the anime as much as I do, but like, bruh, I ain't watched Slime no hard. I've watched Slime less hard than anybody else. There are probably some people who have rewatched Slime. There's probably some people who watched Slime and read the book. That's my homie. My homie loves Slime. He's been trying to get me on that shit forever. When I told him I was watching Slime, he was like, all right, bro, I'm restarting. Boom, somebody who restarted Slime. But even still, I'm somebody who watched Slime all the way through one time, and honestly, I probably haven't watched Slime in like 2-3 weeks. I'm like halfway through season 3, but I've been busy. But even though I haven't watched it like 2-3 weeks, that stuff and the story that I experienced was so cool that it's still in my memory. So I'm not somebody who just goes in and digs really hard and tries to find all these details. I'm just like, why didn't you put this in the game? Why didn't you put that? I'm just somebody who's playing the game, who has logistics, who has common sense, and is just thinking like, yo, why is this character not at all similar to the depiction of himself where you pulled him from? Why not? I'm lost. I'm baffled. I'm stuck. The ultimate. So Megiddo is the spell that Rimiuru uses to kill all the people that he needs, because he needed 10,000 souls, 10,000 human souls he had to consume. And it just so happens that an army of like 20,000 ran up and destroyed his entire settlement while he was gone, and they planned this whole scheme against him, right? He made it back home, he killed the 10,000 humans, no remorse, or he killed the 20,000 humans, I'm sorry, no remorse, took the souls back, then went and revived everybody after he became a demon lord, because he heard that if you become a demon lord, you can revive people. Okay, since becoming a demon lord makes you revive people, and this is the thing that he did that led to his ascension to demon lord, I said inflicts damage equal to 330% attack on all enemies, gains abyss effect, decreases his damage taken, of course, and you can up that damage decrease taken to 75% instead of 50%, because you're not about to sit here and look me in the face, Netmarble, and tell me that you can't give him a 75% damage reduction for 2 turns when Milim gets a guaranteed I'm taking 1 damage for every person I've killed just now, when Milim can wipe an entire team. Then I said that this man should revive the strongest ally once, and that's not overpowered. There are plenty of units in the game that can give other characters, not plenty, but there are units in the game that can give other characters revive. But all around, Netmarble, you are fumbling. That was horrible. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I've been making these Grand Cross videos, and I very much appreciate everybody who's been watching the videos and leaving likes. Cause like I'm gonna be real, bro. Like I can understand people. I actually can't understand people disliking my videos. Like I hop into events and I can't even beat them all the way. But like honestly, let me level with y'all. Like I said in my other video, Grand Cross was literally just a stepping stone for me, bro. We already know that Grand Cross is on its way out. Let's be honest. Their development company has always been shit. Their biggest guy is gone. Their biggest pillar, support pillar, I say, is gone. So it's just like they're definitely on their way out. And this was just kind of like me. It wasn't about Grand Cross. It was just about me getting back to doing content. And I feel like I needed something that I could just go kind of mindless with and not think about, because like I don't have to think about Grand Cross. I played it for a long time, or rather I don't have to think about Grand Cross because I don't even care about the stuff I'm doing in this shit. No one does anymore because Netmarble made it that way, and it sucks, it stinks, but it is what it is. We gotta grow up, we gotta accept what it is, and we gotta get on to the next best thing, which is JJK Phantom Parade. Y'all already know where the dead man is gonna be. But literally, yeah, no, I'm like, I was having fun with the celebration, and then I kind of like soured on it a little bit because I'm just like, why does Rimiuru suck so bad? And like, the more and more I'm looking at things, I'm just like, damn, it's kind of hard to get all these characters to level 100. Damn, it's kind of hard to get all these characters to 6-star Super Awakening. Damn, where are all the rewards that we should be getting for this celebration? When you have a campaign, the campaign should supplement the growth for all the things that came with it, right? So there's enough in the campaign, I guess, to evolve Xion and Milim, but everybody is not an absolute sweat. Everybody does not have all the characters for the last campaign. I would even consider myself to be sweaty during the time that I was playing and Slime came out, and I still didn't have every character. I still only had 5 of them, and that means, yes, they released two characters, but I was still missing one of them from the last time, and apparently it was like the best character, who was not the best character, but like was a very highly competent competitive character who's still good to this day, which was a Milim. So it makes me wonder why they released another Milim to replace that Milim when they could have just LR'd the old Milim as well, so that everybody had both of the new LRs, and they could have released Diablo and Xion, or I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense. But that's my design for Rimiuru. That's why Rimiuru sucks, y'all. That's why Rimiuru sucks, because Netmarble is incompetent. Like, I just don't want anybody to be confused. Everybody who's been playing Grand Cross for a long time already knows this, but like anybody new to Grand Cross, I don't want you to be confused, bro. You're playing a game that's on its way out. Even though the revenue, you can go and look at revenue and gacha charts all you want to, but that is not going to tell you how much the development company in the background doesn't care. Money is a good metric of how long a game is going to stay open. Typically, yes, because the more money it makes, the higher the chance it's going to continue to go. But if you get deep enough into a game to a point where you can tell the development company is making decisions where they don't care, and they've already made plenty of money, and they already have 30 billion other games, it's just kind of like they can pick and choose. That's the cake. That's the have your cake and eat it too mentality. They are allowed to have their cake and eat it too. They are allowed to have this game and make good money on this game, and then stop caring about this game because we allowed them to do that. And they're allowed to make money off of other games and not give a fuck about this game anymore because it's already made them the money that they need. This, like, I think really this game was one of the things that, like, games are two things. They are investments for the gacha company. They are investments, and they're like Kickstarters, right? But they're like an indirect Kickstarter. They're a covert Kickstarter. Why? Because it's like Netmarble is like, yo, we're making this game, but also we're not going to tell you about the rest of the games that we're making. So this game is literally just getting funds for that game. You know how business works. You get money from your product. You put the money back into your company if you're smart, and you continue to produce more of the product or improve the quality of the product or create a different product entirely that people will also go for, so that all of your products retain relevance, right? But if all the products are gacha games, one gacha game is bound to make people forget about the other gacha game, especially if it's like similar. So when 7DS Origin still isn't out yet, is it? I was actually down to play that. I don't even know now because I know Netmarble runs it, and I just know what it's going to devolve into eventually. Big Gaming was the lead development team at Netmarble, and they left Netmarble and went to do BCM, and they honestly shit the bed day one. They said, guys, we're working on Black Clover Mobile and the Breakers. When have you ever saying we're going to work on Black Clover Mobile and the Breakers is like saying I'm watching that's like, because Black Clover's already a famous IP. It already has a lot of fame. It already has a lot of credit to it, right? So the name itself will bring people. That's like saying I'm throwing a party and say I'm older in the future, right? And like I'm throwing a party, and I gotta find a famous guy who's not weird, because a lot of things are going on in Hollywood right now. Say I have a party and I invite Morgan Freeman's son over or something like that, and then I have my own son as well, and we're all having a good time at the party and stuff, and I hit it off with Morgan Freeman's son, and he sees me like some mentor or something like that, and then I'm like, yeah, bro, I can do this, blah 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 blah, and my son has seen me talking to Morgan Freeman's son. He's just like, nah, I want that kind of mentorship too. I'm just like, all right, cool. Who do you think I'm going to push harder? Who do you think, if they gave up, I'll look at them and say like, nah, don't give up yet. Keep going, man. You can do it. Who do you think I'm going to say that to first? My son over Morgan Freeman's son. Why? Because I produced that. That is all me. Morgan Freeman's son, I don't know who the fuck that is before he got to me. I don't even know if Morgan Freeman has a son. I know this is a very crazy example, but like, you see what I'm saying? So when you announce a game from a different IP and then a game from your own thing, realistically, all you're telling me is, at the same time, all you're telling me is, yo, we're going to take this IP and we're going to abuse it to no end so we can make money to do what we actually want. It is what it is. It happens. It's an underhanded tactic. It's definitely scummy, but I mean, like, the world is a scummy place, and scum rises to the top all the time. So it'd be like that. But yeah, Rimiuru sucks dick, balls, shaft, and all. Yeah. That's how I wanted to say that. Rimiuru sucks all of that, all of those things and above. But there is no hope. Netmarble is gone. Netmarble is obliterated. Netmarble is goofy. Grand Cross is dead. And honestly, like I said, this is my little coaster game. JJK Phantom Parade drops tonight, so tap into the live stream. It's your boy DEADMANVINCE signing out, bro. I hate this shit. Bye.